our children.
You know, and you bring up a very good point. I wonder how much finances play a role in this, because of course pharmaceutical companies have made a whole lot of money off of these drugs, and they now, and I'm not indicting the pharmacy industry here, but you know, they direct market to the public. Those are commercials that are on television. So what role, Joe, does the marketing of these drugs play in the parents' demand for the addressing their child's lack of performance in school, not being able to keep up or sit down, whatever the case might be?
Yeah, I think exposure to these commercials certainly makes parents, especially those concerned about their child's performance, wonder, you know, at the very least speculate. Is this a way of helping my child do better, get the better score or whatnot? The reality is this: that parent then, maybe seeing that commercial, will end up in a professional's office. It is now incumbent upon that professional to take the proper time to evaluate. The problem is that there's really no clear consistency between professionals.
But what about attempting to improve their child's academic well-being or well-being through private tutorial, behavior modification?
Right. I'd say they're essential.
Yeah.
We were having a discussion earlier. We were talking about the importance of skill building, especially with the executive functions, which really are at the core of attention deficit, which is things like time management, planning, organization.
And that's basically what you're doing now. You have the parents of children who are on the cusp, would you say, of being diagnosed with ADHD?
A lot of them, they cannot, they have a hard time organizing themselves. And my argument towards this is that a lot of the curriculum has changed, where in life we don't have opportunities to actually practice executive function, where you have to organize information and put it down in a certain way that's basically ABC. And the way we used to go through card catalogs in the library, the way we used to go through encyclopedias, the way these things don't exist. We don't have the opportunity to actually exercise this muscle. And so in schools it doesn't exist, and except for specific things where I need you to organize your notebook, or I need you to organize, and they don't have any other opportunity to practice it. So for a bunch of children, if you get any group of kids in a room, nobody's going to be really good at it if they're not doing it on a regular basis. Some of them may have ADHD. Most of them, I'm sure, don't. They just really don't have organizational practices because it's not a part of our lifestyle any longer. So there's a lot of things that have to be put into account about lifestyle and culture and instant gratification, impulse control. If you have a classroom, for example, kindergarten is about impulse control. Kindergarten is about negotiating social situations that might not go your way. We don't have the opportunity to exercise that in kindergarten now. You're learning how to read and write. There is no negotiating social situations. So what does that look like in a child who, at 10 years old, who hasn't had that practice? After 7 years old, it's very hard to teach how to be a citizen. So these things go out the window.
I'm so glad you're saying that, because what it does is it helps people understand that education is about reading, writing, and arithmetic. But it's also about navigating social skills, life skills. And sometimes it's common to think that if they learn to read and write and know arithmetic, which is essential, I'm not downplaying that, it's essential to learn how to do those things well, that the other things are somehow taught at home, in the church, on the playground, when those places can reinforce what's learned in school. And that's a so important part, particularly in a complex society that's multicultural, where you don't necessarily have these broad community norms, where people have to understand that they're going to be people of different backgrounds, different faiths, different perspectives, different family structures. The world is more complex, and we've got to give our children the understanding and the skills they need to be able to navigate. That's the world they're going to lead.